Everyone in the apartment complex where I lived knew who Ugly was. Ugly was the resident tomcat. Ugly loved three things in his world: fighting, eating garbage, and shall we say love. The combination of these things, combined with the life spent outside, had their effect on Ugly. To start, he only had one eye where the other one should have been was just a hole. He was also missing an ear on the same side, and left foot to appear badly broken at the same time, and it had healed him with an unnatural angle, making him look like he was always turning a corner. Ugly would have been a dark gray tabby, striped typed, but except for the two sores covering his head, neck, and even his shoulders, every time he saw someone, one Ugly was always there for reaction. That's one ugly cat. All the children warned not to touch him. The adults threw rocks at him, tossed him down, squirted him, and whenever he came to their homes, shut their paws in the door, when he would not leave. Ugly always had been the same reaction. If you turned a hose on him, he would just stand there getting soaked until you gave up and quit. If you threw things at him, he would curl, his lanky body around the feet of forgiveness. Whoever he spied on the children, he would come running, meowing frantically, and bump his head against your hands, begging for their love. If you picked him up, he would immediately begin suckling on your teeth, on your shirt, earrings, and or whatever he could find. One day, Ugly shared his love with the neighbors' huskies. They did not respond kindly, and Ugly was badly mauled from my apartment. I could hear his screams, and I tried to rush to his aid, but by the time I got there, apparently it was Ugly's life has almost ended. Ugly laid in the wet circle, with his back legs and lower back twisted grossly out of shape, and a gaping tear that was on the striped fur that ran down in front. As I picked him up and tried to carry him home, I could hear him wheezing and gasping, and I could feel him struggling. It must be hurting him terribly, I thought. Then I found a familiar tugging, sucking, and a sensation in my ear. Ugly isn't so much pain. Suffering was obviously dying. He was trying to suckle my ear. I pulled him closer to me and bumped the palm of his hand with his hand, and within the turned the golden eye towards me. I could hear and now the distinct sound of purring. Even the greatest pain that Ugly battled, scared cat, was only asking for a little affection, perhaps some compassion. At that moment, thought Ugly was the most beautiful, loving creature that I have ever seen. Never once did he try to bite or scratch me, or tried to get away from me, or struggle in any way. Ugly just looked up at me, completely trusting me to leave and relieve his pain. Then Ugly died in my arms before I could get inside, but I sat there and held him for a long time. Afterwards, thinking about how one scared, deformed little stray could alter up my opinion about it, but what it could have means the purest of spirit, love to the loyal, totally, and Ugly. Ugly had taught me more about giving the pet compassion than 1,000 books of lectures or even talk of specials that could ever stand for, and that I will always be thankful for. He had been scared outside, but I was scared on the inside. And when it was time for me to move on, to truly deeply, to give myself the total to those who I cared for, many people would want to be richer, more successful, well liked, or beautiful. But me, I will always try to be ugly. And that, my little pretties, was the story of Ugly the cat, or the ugly cat, whatever you guys prefer to call it. So, yeah. That was a Feels Pasta written by, I think it's by Sharon Kilduff Clark. I think that's who it is. I don't know, but, anyway, I think that's who it is, but I don't really know who the original author is. But if I do find out who the original author is, I'll be sure to give him proper credit. But I'm just going to leave it as Sharon for now because, well, just for now until I could find out who the original author is. So, all right. Now, where do I begin with this story? Well, I actually found this through Spooky 101. This individual said to me that the story was pretty good and suggested me to give it a read, so here I am. I'm giving it a read. So, now about this story, I actually found this one to be quite sad. Now, I almost cried in the story, well, partway through the narration, and I am going to explain why I felt sad. Well, first of all, I am going to compliment on a few things. Now, the sentence structuring was decent. I'm definitely going to give it that. And same with the grammar. The grammar wasn't so much of a problem. The sentence structuring worked out pretty good too. Like, I have to say, this is actually a good feels pasta. A sad one, because I think this is one of the saddest ones I've ever done. I'm not sure if Monsters Inc. the runner-up sounds a little sad. Well, it does kind of when, when Randall's going through a lot of things. But this one, I have to say, was pretty amazing. Pretty amazing and well done. But although I have to say that it's really sad at the same time. Like, this story was actually one of the saddest ones I've ever seen. I don't know why, but it's the saddest feels pasta I've ever seen. Now, if I have to say one thing I wasn't really crazy on, would have to be the sentence structure was decent, I can give it that, but there were a couple of run on sentences in the story. Like, I believe there was some run on sentences in the story, so part times way through the story, that's probably why the story was a bit difficult to read. But other than that, that's probably just the only negative I have to, say. Like, I can't find anything else negative about why I didn't like this story, but this story was actually pretty cool. Now, I have to say that, this story was absolutely amazing. So, I definitely have to say this story was actually pretty good. Now, I don't know if Sharon in here wrote this, but it doesn't say that she wrote this story, or he for that matter. So, I'm just going to say right now, I'm just going to leave it anonymous for now. If I do find out who the original author is, I'll definitely give him or her proper credit. But this story is actually really good. I'm going to be completely honest. Even though it's a short one, I actually found this story to be quite sad, actually. The fact that the cat dies at the end. Oh my goodness. Like, I'm just really saddened by it because, if you guys seen, movies like Old Yeller, what is it, Bambi and stuff like that, and or even other movies of animals, you do know that some animals die at certain parts, which is pretty sad and unfortunate. Don't get me wrong. I actually found I think Old Yeller was actually one of the saddest dog movies I've ever seen. I have seen some other ones, but I think Old Yeller actually teared me up the most, even when I was a kid. It's probably one of the reasons why my mom didn't like watching Old Yeller, is because it's sad. But with all due sincerity, this story was absolutely amazing and really well done. So, if I do find out who the original author is, I'll be sure to give him or her proper credit. So, this story is on, a certain site. If you go through Spooky 101 UWU, you will definitely find this story. I'm just letting you guys know where you could find it. So, yeah. But I think she did provide a link in it or something. But if you guys want to look up the story and narrate it, feel free to do so, because I would love to see your narrations of it if you guys want to narrate it. Now, besides the grammar being decent, being good, the grammar wasn't so much of a problem. The sentence structure was decent too, but I think it could use a little improvement because of the run-on sentences. So the story was a bit hard to read at times because of the run-on sentences, and they lacked the proper punctuation marks. I'm not sounding insulting. I'm just saying, what the author could do to improve him or herself. It's a good story, don't get me wrong. I actually found this story to be rather sad, but a good story as well. Now, this story is actually pretty much one of the good reasons why people should really take a look at this and find out what a good story this story was, which it is good. Now, I could definitely say, I feel bad for the cat for, going through a lot of, crap with people, not giving a crap, and even been being mauled by the dogs. Oh my goodness. It's just really sad. Like, this story nearly made me cry. I guess it's actually one of my first stories that ever made me cry, but this story actually did pretty good. That's the reason why this story is just as good. Now I could definitely say, if you guys want to give it a read, feel free to give it a read. I really appreciate it. So I could definitely say right now, sadly enough, this stuff does happen to lots of animals, like dogs, cats, or any other animal for that matter. It's sad that, people leave their cats outside and, they don't even care about it. That's the sad reality of the story. It's based on it, which I'm not flattered, but I'm pretty happy that it's based on what actually happens. Like, it's not, going into a cliche, mess, not like creepypastas and Goshia do. Well, with the exception of a few people, but other than that, this story, I have to say, was pretty sad, really well done and good. It doesn't start off, your typical cliche story, which is really good. I'm really appreciate that. But other than that, the story was absolutely amazing. Now, if you guys want to look up the story, feel free to. I would love to hear your, thoughts and opinions on the story. But yeah, I guess I kind of, have been, going on for about the story for a while, but this if I to the offer, you did a pretty good job with the story, and if I do find out who the original offer is, I'll be sure to leave a link to, well, not link, but kind of, maybe I'll give make sure to give the offer proper credit if I do find out who the original offer is, but I don't know who it is cuz it says offer unknown. So I guess that doesn't really, well, that does explain something. But other than that, I found this story to be quite good. So, yeah, that's the very good thing I could definitely say what I liked about the story. Now, it is sad. Don't get me wrong. It is a sad story. It plays out well, and it's actually believable because stuff like this happens to almost every animal that gets left out of the street, or they get hit by a car or something, or they end up getting snatched by people. This is believable because that's what I really liked about this story is that it's absolutely beautiful and very well believable in this case. Beautiful as in it's really good because it doesn't go into cliche tutorial, not like most creepypastas on, I guess you could say Goshia do, because, well, stories on Goshia really go, do that. But with the exception of a few people, but other than that, I really found this story to be rather good and really well done. So I could definitely say your this story was actually really good, really well made, and I actually found this story to be quite believable, which it is, and very amazing. Okay, I'm gonna say right now, and like I'll always continue to say, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be a 10 out of 10. It's a great feels pasta, really believable, the grammar is decent, well, good. Same with the sentence structuring being decent, and the paragraph structuring being good. The story is very believable. It's not cliched like most creepypasta stories or anything like that. It's sad, don't get me wrong. But the one thing I could definitely suggest the author to do is fix up the sentence structuring just a little bit. But other than that, the story was very well done. I really enjoyed it, and it was actually pretty good. So, anyways, what did you all think about this curry pasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what have you have done personally to help make this story a lot better? Leave me now what your thoughts are down in the comment section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and if you're brand new here to this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe because I make brand new videos every single day. Don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload so then you guys won't miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out of here. And I will be catching you all in the next video. Peace